Good day, YouTube. This is Jay Money with Falling Forward Financial. Just an update here on Sundial Growers. I've talked about them a lot here on the channel. Haven't talked about them in quite a while. So here's a video on them. Haven't done any MJ stocks in a while, so had the day off, so turning out a bunch of videos. So Sundial Growers, like I said, I've talked about them. I'll link the others in the description for you to find. Ticker SNDL. You can see what this one's done over the last year, or has not done, however you want to say it. But a year ago it was $1, and it hasn't been $1 since then. I got one extension. I think it has another extension until it tried to get there. I believe this August. Maybe they'll be in the information that we go over here, but that's the last memory that I remember of this one. But it's down a lot here in the last year. Well, it's actually green in the past week, so 0.06, not much, but and here in the Friday could have made 2 cents. This is Sundial. If you're not familiar what it is, it's an MJ stock, the licensed producer that crafts small batch MJ using state-of-the-art indoor facilities. Brand portfolio includes Top Leaf, Sundial, Palmetto, and so on. Founded in 2006. $759 million market cap. High was 0.3245, a low of 0.294. 52-week high of $1.06 and low of 0.2902, so pretty much right at the all-time high. 62 million on the volume and 70.9, we'll just call it 71 on the volume. I've seen this one's in the trade in the billions before, so here's one of my last orders. I do have some shares of this, not on Robinhood anymore. I moved everything over. So they still do have a couple hundred shares of this. I think one account's probably a cost basis of about 50 cents. So yeah, I'm in the red probably with everybody else on this one. But Bing is showing it as a hold. Don't even give a 1 year on it, but currently at 31 cents. This could be a huge problem for Sundial. This was on the 17th, so Friday. Sundial's has struggled to generate much in the way of consistent growth in the recent years. Meanwhile, it has diluted shareholders heavily, with the company now having more than 2 billion shares on its books, which is more than 9 times what it had at the end of 2020. So, yeah, crazy. U.S. states that people are fleeing and the ones they are moving to. So interesting. An attempt to generate some growth, Sundial has been investing in the retail pot sector, but it may not be smooth sailing for those businesses either. There's a potential big rival waiting in the wings, one that has already invested in the sector. Retail giant Alimentation Couche-Tard, I think it's how you pronounce it, that's how I'm going to say it, over the counter, ANCT.F. I'm going to have to take a look at this one. So they are also a Canadian company based out of Quebec. It's a convenience store operator that has a huge presence around the globe, with more than 14,000 stores spanning 26 countries. Stores operate under multiple banners, including Circle K, Max, and Ingo. Even before Canada legalized MJ in 2018, they wanted to sell pot in the stores, and so it wasn't a huge surprise to learn that the company invested in pot retailer Fire and Flower. I've talked about them before in 2019. What Sundial investors should know that Couche-Tard is continuing to increase its position in Fire and Flower. From a 9.9 stake a few years ago, the company had used warrants to increase its position in the business to 35%. This month, Fire and Flower appointed Stephanie Triddle as the new CEO. Trudeau was the Senior Vice President in Operations at Couche-Tard at the time of the announcement. With a growing stake in the business and now having its own executing, running Fire and Flower, the stage could be set for Couche-Tard to eventually take a controlling stake in the business and pump more money into its growth. This is bad news for Sundial. Fire and Flower has more than 100 pot shops in Canada, and with Couche-Tard potentially putting more money in the business and focusing on its growth, that would likely intensify competition for Sundial Growers. Sundial acquired pot retailer Inner Spirit last year, which has also 100 plus locations within Canada. More recently, it had acquired liquor store operator Alcanna, which through a majority-owned subsidiary in Nova, has close to 80 pot shops in its portfolio. The battle for the market share in the retail pot sector looks inevitable between Couche-Tard and Sundial, and it could be an uneven one. Couche-Tard normally generates more than $50 billion in annual revenue in its most recent fiscal year, which ended in April 2021. Its sales dipped to below $46 billion, as the decline in travel during the pandemic led to a sharp 24% reduction in road transportation fuel revenue, its largest segment, but amid a return to normal, the business has been looking stronger of late. In the trailing 12 months, sales have totaled $58.6 billion. Couche-Tard also recently posted a profit and also brings in tons money over the past year. It has also generated $2.3 billion in free cash flow. Suffice to say, Couche-Tard would provide a tough competition to any retailer and would have ample money to put in MJ business. So this has always been a cautious for Sundial, but they have been sinking ship over the past year, falling a whopping 72% in the last 12 months. It's slightly worse than the ETF, which has declined 69%. Shares of Couche-Tard, meanwhile, have risen 16%. There you go. I'm going to have to look at that one and possibly do a video about them as well. So, with a cash burn of more than 150 million Canadian dollars over the trailing 12 months, the business needs to be a lot stronger and going to succeed against Fire and Flower and other MJ retailers. So, like I've been saying in the last couple videos, I've called this one a POS, and many a times it basically is a POS stock. There's days I wish I wouldn't have got into it. I was buying into it at 50 cents, and there was a bunch of talk going on, and it was supposed to ramp up to $1. I think it just barely hit it at one point in time and didn't sustain it for very long. But Sundial Growers enters into a big agreement for Zenabis Global Inc.'s assets, and this was just out today. So again, Sundial announced that in the context of the initial order pursuant to a Companies Creditors Arrangement Act pertaining to Zenabis as defined below, rendered on January 17, 2022, entered into a purchase agreement in the form of a stalking horse bid. So very interesting, pursuant to which the shares of Zenabis Global and the business and assets of its direct and indirectly wholly owned subsidiaries would be acquired by Sundial. The bid agreement is subject to the approval by the Quebec Superior Court supervising the CCAA proceedings and the potential alternative bids pursuant to bidding procedures that will follow. All amounts are denominated in the Canadian dollars unless otherwise noted, subject to the court's approval of the bid agreement and the bidding procedures that will be sought on July 5th, 2022. That would be a Tuesday, so 2 weeks from tomorrow. Said floor or minimum acceptable bid in the sale of investment solicitation process and designed to achieve the highest and best offer for Zenabis. So we'll see what that does. The asset covered the bid agreement include the 380,000 square foot indoor growing facility located in Atholville, New Brunswick, with an annual production capacity of approximately 46,000 kgs of dried MJ and 15,000 of extraction capacity. So again, we'll see what this one does to the stock price. Probably won't do much of anything, but hope for the best. Based on Hexo's publicly filed financial statements, contribution of the Zenetis Group to consolidated net revenue was $11.1 million in the second quarter. International net revenues increased by 36%. And just going to scroll through the rest of this. If you want to read it for yourself, you can go right to the source on Yahoo Finance. So, again, there's the headline. Sundial Growers enters into a bid agreement. Not much here on Reddit. That's it. I'm selling every share of Sundial. I'm sure I'd be selling too if I was in the green, but I'm not. Here on StockTwits, currently at 31 cents. Low of 29, high of $1.06. Already went over that. Show me what you got. Sundial buying Tilray next. It might be the only thing that turns it positive. Who knows at that point? I haven't looked at Tilray. Can't stop you guys. Tomorrow, gotta take a flight. Over here on MSN Money, currently at 31 cents. And you can see on Friday it did have kind of a green day, so it would keep doing that. It would take a lot to get it back up. Analyst target price of 73 out of 4 analysts. So we'll see if that happens or not. But that is all that I have on Sundial. But if you have Sundial, go ahead and list that in the comments along with your cost basis, any other information you'd like to share. And if you haven't smashed that like button yet, go ahead and hit that for me, as well as subscribing and hit the bell so you're notified of when the next videos drop. Again, this is J Money, Falling Forward Financial. Happy trading, happy investing, stay green. Cheers.